Why does dating someone with an avoidant attachment style make your relationship increasingly cold? Avoidant people can be nice to everyone else, but their romantic partners are the exception. Around colleagues, family members, and friends, they can appear enthusiastic and friendly, blending in perfectly with everyone. But once you become their romantic partner, they reveal their most comfortable side as an avoidant, which happens to be your most painful experience. Before the relationship begins, they show tremendous enthusiasm, but as things progress, they suddenly become extremely distant. In reality, they haven't changed. They were always distant. They have to pretend around others. But with you, their most familiar person, they don't need to fake anything. They can be their authentic self. When they feel like paying attention to you, they will. When they don't, they simply disappear. When you have conflicts and ask them not to be so cold, they might make some effort, but their attitude remains dismissive. When they discover that you're just like everyone else, asking them to be inauthentic, believing that showing enthusiasm is your preferred way of interacting, and that's what satisfies you. They gradually feel you're incompatible because you don't understand their preferred way of relating, and their feelings for you diminish. Then they treat you with increasing coldness. At this point, if you happen to have an anxious attachment style, facing their coldness will make you explode, triggering more intense conflicts. Since avoidant personalities hate conflict more than anything, they become afraid and bewildered, not knowing how to face your anger. Or they fall back on their typical thinking, "I knew you couldn't accept me this way." Next, all they want is to escape and hide, refusing to communicate or talk. Their behavior essentially becomes emotional neglect, but they themselves don't feel particularly troubled, nor do they think about how to comfort you. Want them to feel your pain? That's incredibly difficult. Most avoidant types are like children who never grow up, especially with their partners. They behave only when you take care of them and satisfy them. They're emotional vampires who demand your accommodation, understanding, and affection. But when you have emotions, sorry, please process them yourself. Don't bother me. Not responding to messages, not answering calls, leaving you hanging until you calm down. These are standard moves for them. They also dislike chatting online, preferring face-to-face interactions in real life. Avoidants are particularly lazy and conflict-averse, seeing chat as an inefficient waste of time. If you have something to say, get to the point. If not, I'll just give you perfunctory answers. After all, in their view, this is less interesting than playing a couple of video games. So dating an avoidant often creates a sense of confusion. When you're apart, you feel they've completely lost interest and are extremely cold. But when you meet in person, it's as if nothing ever happened. However cold they were toward you initially, they'll be equally cold later, making you feel like you're in a fake relationship. No gifts on holidays, no touching moments, no surprises, just mundanely going through the motions. They might thoughtfully pour you a cup of hot water, but struggle to speak words of affection. Avoidants are essentially authentic, unpretentious people who, in front of their most intimate partner, become boring beings. This indirectly proves your importance in their life. They crave love, warmth, and security inside, but don't dare give these things themselves and are unwilling to reciprocate equally to their partner. Now that you understand what type of person they are, stop nitpicking. Just treat them like a child, and your relationship will gradually improve.